What a lovely week to be a New Yorker, let me tell you that! So, we did it, guys. We've brought communism to New York City. Everyone, let's give ourselves a round of applause. We did it! Yeah. Zeron won, as we all historically know. Got to vote in that election. That was iconic. I voted in the primary too for him, so I've been here. I keep track of politics. It was, the whole vibe in the city was great that day. It's just been a blast, like, seeing everyone's reaction to it and just seeing the right freak out. Just like, oh my gosh, their panties are in knots over this. They're like, communism, he's bringing Sharia law to New York City. Last time I checked, you want white Christian nationalist Sharia law, so. And you don't know what communism is, and you put those two in the same sentence. And really, that little special indicator tells me you really got no idea what's going on. I literally poured myself a little glass of champagne for this episode, to celebrate the blue wave that has struck our country. I'm here with my orange hair in support of the libtards to celebrate that Zeron Mandami's win. Yeehaw. I don't know what that crossover character was. I don't know who that libtard southern character just was. Let's hope she never comes back. But yeah, the whole vibe in the city's been awesome. It's just been, I don't know, nice to feel hope again for like a second. It feels like we have been drowning, and for about 0.5 seconds, I've been able to like get my head above water and go, things might be okay eventually. I think we all have just needed the hope, because like, man, 2025 has been a dreary year. Worst year probably since 2020. Feels like we can't catch a break, but it's nice to be able to just have some like glimmer of a vision of a better future. I'm always painfully optimistic to the point of like, I'll let my optimism get really worked up and then I get really disappointed when like things don't go well. But I still think that's better than living in like doom and gloom all the time. Like, the blinding optimism is what gets me through everything. So this has given me a lot of optimism. It's an election that I really think is gonna inspire people for a very, very long time, and I cannot wait to someday get to tell my kids that I was a part of it. And that's all just to say, again, it is so important to go vote, and we guys gotta keep voting, and even once, all the problems are solved, which they won't be in our lifetime, but once we're in a more stable place and it doesn't feel like the world's ending, I'm on my little soapbox to say you gotta keep voting so that it stays that way. All right. Let's hope this whole experience was scarring enough the past couple of years that we lock in for the rest of forever, because fascism always lurking around a corner unless you're beating the fuck out of it. So that's that. I've already had family members be like, you're gonna get political on that podcast of yours. Well, yes, I am. That's sort of the whole point, is to be like a blaring nuisance to those who would like to take my rights away. I would kind of like to keep pestering those people and forcing them to look in a mirror of their own stupidity. I kind of would like to keep poking the bear until the bear explodes, or the bear runs away, or the bear realizes its only power comes from hurting people's, and maybe it should just hibernate. Not hibernate. Let's just get rid of the bear. I'm gonna keep poking the bear. So what anyone says to me about like, you could ruin your chances doing this or that by being political, I think in the face of fascism, you have no choice but to, maybe pick a side. And let's pick the right side, okay? And then a lot of the people who are, telling me not to get political, will also be believers of Christ. And that's the thing about Christ, I don't think he was a centrist. Hot take. Jesus Christ was not a centrist. And he wouldn't like what's going on. That's a thought. He probably would look around the world and be mortified at the people in charge of our government. Okay? So you know what? I'm gonna do what Jesus did. And I'm not gonna shut the fuck up about what I think the problems are in this country and believing in equal rights for everyone until it kills me. And I will gladly die on that hill. So, that's that. Next thing is, now that I'm gonna hop off the soapbox. I've hopped off. Okay? Next thing is, I'm gonna just say thank you all for tuning in. This has gotten almost 100 views my first episode on YouTube. Got a couple of plays on Spotify. And the amount of my friends and family and I suppose other people who are not my friends and family who tuned in. Thank you so freaking much. It's so cool. I've been promoting it a lot on my TikTok and on my YouTube shorts and stuff like that, so maybe you found me through there. Thank you so much for listening to me yap, even though you have no idea who I am. That's really cool of you. But to all my friends and family who have been listening, also thank you from the bottom of my heart to want to listen to me talk for an hour straight. That is so sweet of you. When I checked the amount of hours the video had been played, I was like, that's delusional. You guys are crazy. Thank you. So, yeah, thanks for supporting this new little dream of mine I have of being a podcast, book writing, singing influencer. Gonna create my own genre. And thank you for always supporting me being insane. I really do appreciate it, because you know me. Gears always turning. I'm always looking for a fight. I'm always wanting to get into some shit. I can't be normal. And so now you get to experience me not being normal once a week. Thank you for allowing that in your homes, in your earphones, and in maybe your car speaker. That's crazy of you, and thank you so much for that. I'm gonna stop glazing y'all so much and get into the episode. I figured for the new people here who are still getting to know me, this next thing we're going to do is going to be fun for them, but also for my friends and family who have been watching. We're going to do what is in my purse. A scary, cryptic item, my purse. It's a large Juicy Couture bag that I got on sale from TJ Maxx with my Labubu. Her name is Opalite, because it came out around the same time as the new Taylor Swift album. Or, I got the Labubu. Labubus didn't come out then, as we all know from the horrors of this summer. But I still like it nonetheless. It goes with the Juicy Couture bag. I gotta have the Laboob, okay? And then I got a bee keychain and Hello Kitty. You know I love Kitty, okay? That's what's on my bag. Now, what is in my bag? Okay. First things first, two decks of tarot cards, one that I usually carry with me, one that I was using at the bar when I still had a job. No, for all my family members asking yet, I don't have a job. Really hard to find a job, especially in this economy. So, haven't found a job yet. Working on it. Trust the process. Anyways, next is these sunglasses. Yeah, my sunglasses. They're pretty cool, steampunk sunglasses. They're Crowley sunglasses from Good Omens. And I still wear every day on a regular basis from when I cosplayed him in high school. They're my favorite pair of glasses still. Beach body spray. Gotta smell like the beach. Little hair clippy. And, my pepper spray. Alarm. With my Survivor keychain, because I play 1-day, 3-day games of Survivor LRGs. Look that up. I do that. Anyways, pepper spray, because I will pepper spray you if you get too close to me. If I don't like the look you're giving me, I'm gonna pepper spray you. So, know this, haters. I stay strapped. Okay? Okay? a hair clip, and one of those like key rings for if I need to add a keychain. You never know when you need to add a trinket to your purse, okay? I'm prepared, okay? Can't leave the house without it. And then you got 3 shells from when I went to California. ASMR. Yeah. Okay? Not 1, but 2 packets of gum. Important. Very important. And my Labubu Roanoa Zorro wanted poster. We'll go with this guy. I lost his berry that he sits on. It's a tragedy. It'll appear. It'll come back. I'm manifesting. Anyways, Elsa hair clips, because you never know when you need to pin your hair back. And Elsa's there for that, okay? Important. Some Band-Aids. I'm ready. And then I have, this is, looks like a little seashell. Really? Holding my drugs. When the girly pops asked for, some Tylenol to make him more autistic, I got him. Locked and loaded. Then we got a whole bunch of different Pokemon cards. Okay? Because I'm ready at any time for battle. I'm going to be the very best. Like no one ever was. And you can quote me on that. Okay? Oh, my sticker from when I voted. And see, I wasn't lying. I'm not a performative, Zeron fan. Voted for that man. Okay? And I actually live in New York. And then so much lip gloss. And nail polish glue. And a hair tie. And, 1,000 Wishes Bath and Body Works antibacterial hand gel. Because the subways are disgusting in this city. Yes. That is what's in my purse. I hope you all learned something about me. It was very in character. I swear to God I did not place any of these items. This is genuinely what's in my purse. Ironically enough, what's not in my purse right now are my keys or my wallet. Where those are, that's for me to find out later. That was what was in my purse. And I think we all learned, you either learned nothing about me or you learned a lot about me. So, next up on the to-do list to chat about, we're going to be discussing Grammy nominations. I'm locked in, okay? Been paying attention to them. And we're going to talk about the categories that I want to talk about. And only the categories I want to talk about, okay? Okay. So, starting off, record of the year. We have DTMF, Bad Bunny, Manchild, Sabrina Carpenter, Anxiety, Doechii, Wildflower, Billie Eilish, Abracadabra, Lady Gaga, Luther, Kendrick Lamar with SZA, The Subway, Chappell Roan, and I don't know how to say the name of this song, APT, Rosé and Bruno Mars. Now let's go through how I feel about that. Bad Bunny, I don't personally listen to Bad Bunny, but I know for those who are Bad Bunny enjoyers, this album has been big for them, and they've really enjoyed it. So, shout out to them. Seems worthy. Manchild, Sabrina Carpenter, you already know. I was listening to Sabrina before when I do my little dance at the beginning, that was sped up. I was listening to Sabrina. I stay clocked with Sabrina. Love that girl, okay? I used to not be a Sabrina glazer. I really used to not. I used to really actually, I was a bit of a Sabrina hater. But in her past 2 albums, really has done a come around for me. Doechii with Anxiety, using a song, what is that called when you, words are hard to think of. Sampling. Was she sampling a song from 2012? That really shook me to my core. Somebody that I used to know, exactly, because now it's Anxiety by Doechii. Good song. I thought Wildflower was in Hit Me Hard and Stop Playing Me in Target. I'm so sick of listening to Hit Me Hard and Soft. Why is a song from Hit Me Hard and Flop? Why is that on here? Listen, I'm a big Billie stan. Okay? I really am. Her first album and second album, pivotal in my development as a human being. I love Billie Eilish. Hit me hard and soft. Letdown, total letdown. And I genuinely don't know. I should look it up, but I'm not going to. For why Wildflower? No, I'll look it up. Why? Let's look it up together. Why was Wildflower nominated for a Grammy? Other people looking it up too. It auto-filled, okay? Okay. It's the AI generated answer, so we'll take it with a grain of salt. Wildflower was nominated for a Grammy because it met the eligibility criteria for the 2026 awards, even though it was released in 2024. Since the song was an album track on the album, Hit Me Hard and Soft had not won a Grammy, the track could be submitted for the current eligibility period. So Hit Me Hard and Soft sucked so much, just like I said, that they were like, you can try again and we're still not going to give you any award. That's pretty much what happened there. Yeah, I just didn't like that album. And it would be fine if I didn't like that album, but here's the thing. Whenever I say I didn't like that album, I get absolutely beat the fuck up by everyone around me glazing that album. Sorry, I didn't like it. I liked the super fucked up songs back in the day. Okay? That was my shit. So I just don't love this one, okay? Anyways, moving on. I'll stop being a hater. I clicked out of the thing. My phone's not working. Here we go. No, that's not it. They're embarrassing me. They're embarrassing me while I'm doing my podcast because my phone's not loading. Can I please just have the Grammy nominations, Mr. Cell Phone? Please? Please? Oh my gosh. They're trying to embarrass me right now. This is like slander. They're trying to make me look bad in front of my millions of viewers, showing that I don't know how to work a phone or get back to the page I was on. Gosh, God. No. It's like actually embarrassing. Like, I can't get back to it. Like, I'm having to go into a different article now. Shouldn't have had that drink. Okay. So, yeah, back to record of the year. Yes, so then Abracadabra, Lady Gaga. Okay, a slay. That one's a slay. Understand why it's on there. Luther, Kendrick Lamar with SZA. Again, a banger. The Subway. A banger. And this goddamn Rosé Bruno Mars song. This song has been a blight on my year. It is the type of song that makes me feel exactly like that little sound I just made. Like, I cannot handle, like, circular, repetitive songs, and I'm like, I don't know what she's saying. It just, this song, yeah, the TikTok, it was a TikTok song. It is a TikTok song, and I hope it doesn't win, okay? I don't want this to win, and I don't want Wildflower to win. What could I want to win? I think Bad Bunny, just in general, is having a good year, so I guess this is predictions and what I want to win. My prediction is that, here's who I don't think is going to win. I don't think Chappell Roan will win. I don't think she'll win. I definitely don't think Billie Eilish will win. I don't think Doechii will win either. I think it's going to be between Lady Gaga, Kendrick Lamar, and then Bad Bunny for this category. I just see Bad Bunny winning. That's the vibe I get. Who do I want to win? Of course I want Sabrina to win. Because I love the message of the song. Imagine if they're like, Song of the Year, We Hate Men. That would be iconic. That would be awesome. So that's what I'm rooting for. Really, I'll be happy as long as either the, Rosé Bruno Mars song or the Billie Eilish song doesn't win. I won't be pressed at anything, okay? So, moving on. Album of the Year? We got Bad Bunny's album, Justin Bieber's album, Sabrina Carpenter's album, Clips, Pusha T, and Malice's album, Lady Gaga, Kendrick Lamar, Leon Thomas, Tyler, the Creator. Now, didn't listen to Justin Bieber's new album. Never been a believer. Wasn't then, wasn't now. I didn't believe then, and I'm not gonna believe now. Especially after all the stuff with, like, his wife, like, is just, like, crazy. Like, everything that has come out in the past year about how he treats his wife. And we were all just, like, really cool with shading the fuck out of her. Well, because, like, Selena's happy now. And, like, why are we bringing up her ex when Selena's getting married? And that's just a whole mess and everything like that. And it's, like, all this stuff is happening. And then we're pitting women against each other. And then it's, like, and let's nominate Justin Bieber for Album of the Year. Not that I thought Selena's and Benny Blanco's album should be anywhere nominated for any of this. That album was horrible. And I'm sure Justin Bieber's album is legitimately better than whatever monstrosity that Selena Gomez, you know, SoundCloud ukulele album was. But I still don't want Justin Bieber to win. Because, you know, I don't want him to. After, like, right, we're pinning women against each other, and then let's nominate this man for Album of the Year. Why not? Why not? And I get it, he's singing about his feelings and some shit and his, like, regrets and stuff like that, but yeah, he probably regrets treating his wife horribly and basically enabling a smear campaign against her. Oh, this is gonna spill over! Oh! The price you pay to be a bougie bitch is what it is. I think it's gonna be between Bad Bunny and Kendrick Lamar for this one. But of course, you know, I want Sabrina to win with Man's Best Friend. I loved Man's Best Friend. Probably, dare I say, my favorite Sabrina Carpenter album. I like Short and Sweet. Oh, I forgot to put this crown on. This crown was on for the beginning celebration, but I guess we're wearing it all episode now. Anyways, Man's Best Friend, Sabrina Carpenter, was definitely my favorite Sabrina Carpenter album. And I like Short and Sweet, but there were some songs where I was like, skip. Man's Best Friend, no skip album for Brinly. I love the album. It is a banger, and the ballads aren't too ballady for me. I can vibe with them. Super, like, they make me reflect on a different time in my life, and they're all bangers. And I think it's her most cohesive piece yet. I really feel like she understood what she was trying to convey, and her mixture between, like, the Dolly Parton and the ABBA sound and, like, all these kind of retro vibes that she has leaned into, she's really made work in a way that doesn't feel performative and gimmicky and just feel like her. So I really think she's done a fantastic job with this album, and it's performed very, very well in the charts. So I would love to see Sabrina win. Again, I don't think she will. I think it'll be between Bad Bunny and Kendrick Lamar, and that's also beautiful. So, really the only person... This list isn't even necessarily who I'm rooting for. It's about who I'm rooting against. Okay? So, like, I would love to see Kendrick take home the win with this album. I liked GNX when I don't listen to it religiously by any means, but when I listen to it, I like it. But I have not listened to Bad Bunny's album, but I have people who I know really ride with it. So I feel like for me, Album of the Year, I just want it to be something that I've seen have cultural impact. And I know Bad Bunny with this album has had insane cultural impact. So I think it should be to the person who pushes the culture the most, which is why I'm saying Bad Bunny and Kendrick Lamar seem like the choice for Album of the Year. So, Song of the Year. Now, someone explain to me how Record of the Year and Song of the Year are different. I don't know. We got Abracadabra, banger, Anxiety, APT, whatever, I don't know how to say it, DTMF, and then Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. Now, this is where I'm about to get flamed. I did not like K-Pop Demon Hunters. I know. It just, the humor missed for me 7 out of 10 jokes, and the animation is beautiful, but I did not like the music very much. It just, lyrically, it was not strong for me, and, like, I know it's a kid's movie, so I also gotta lay off, but it's just, the lyrics are just kind of corny, and I do not love the vocals on Golden, I'm gonna be honest. And I hear the clip of the high note to that song every single time I'm on TikTok, and that high note in Golden is just painful. It's not good. It's not good. And it feels bad. People online who were like, it's AI. Like, it's not AI. It's just auto-tuned. I think rather obviously, which is fine if the auto-tune was well done, but it just is piercing to me. And I like actual, like, K-pop in real life. So I was really hoping to enjoy this movie and all the hype around it, because this movie has gotten so much hype. I wanted to like K-pop Demon Hunters so bad. Like, I really couldn't get through it in, like, one watch. Like, I had to stop it and, like, come back to it. I did not enjoy K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm so sorry to be that guy. But I am starting to like Hazbin Hotel. Used to not like Hazbin Hotel. Hazbin Hotel and I have a similar relationship that I used to have with Sabrina Carpenter. But I started this season of Hazbin Hotel. I'm on episode 4. And I'm enjoying it. Gravity? Now that's a banger. Nominate that for a Grammy, okay? And maybe K-pop Demon Hunters will eventually have that effect on me, where I didn't like it at first, and I didn't understand the hype, and then I get it. But for now, I can do without it, and if it wins, I'm gonna be angry. Anyways, then we got, again, Luther, Manchild, and then Wildflower. Again, Wildflower better not win anything. You already know who I'm rooting for. But I also would love to see Gaga win some stuff this Grammy award season, because she's also been doing the Lord's work. Thank you very much. Going to do... Then we got Best Pop Solo Performance, which we have Justin Bieber, Sabrina Carpenter, Lady Gaga, Chappell Roan, and Lola Young all on there. I would really love to see that go to either Sabrina, Lady Gaga, or Chappell Roan. Any one of them. I think this could be a good one for Chappell Roan to win without winning, like, Song of the Year. I would love for Chappell to win something. Everything, if it's anything, I think it should be this. Now we got Best Pop Duo / Group Performance. Number 1 on the list, Defying Gravity with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. Gabriella Cat's Eye. Rose Bruno Mars. And 30 for 30 with SZA and Kendrick Lamar. Now, if Defying Gravity does not win this one, I'm gonna lose my marbles! I can't handle, like, the wicked snubbing has to stop. It must end right here. You're telling me you heard with your ears Cynthia Erivo sing Defying Gravity and you didn't want to give her every award on the planet? It's like the Barbie snub all over again, and they just hate when women love something, and something predominantly female and queer is successful. Let's not award that at all. Let's not do that. So I need this little redemption arc right here, right now. And I need Cynthia and Ariana to win a Grammy for this. 'Cause you and I defying gravity. That's gonna be me! In like 12 days. In like 2 weeks when the new Wicked movie comes out! Girls, gays, are we locked in for Wicked? I have not bought my tickets yet. I won't lie, because when they went on pre-sale, I think I was losing my job. So I didn't get them in time. I did not get my Wicked tickets. I didn't get them. And so I need to do that really as soon as humanly possible. I'm probably going to have to get shit-ass seats for it if I want to see it, like, right when it opens, because it's impossible to see anything in New York because movie theaters get so packed. So yeah, me and my bestie, we're gonna have to go see Wicked, and I'm gonna talk about Wicked here soon. In just a moment. I honestly will transition now. That's how I felt about the Grammys. I'm already on Wicked. We're gonna talk about Wicked, okay? I've never been so ready for a movie in my entire life. This movie, this year has been a bitch. This year has sucked. And you know what I need? I need to cathartically cry in the theater watching Wicked for good. I need to hear the full version of For Good between Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo's Elphaba and Glinda. And I need to sit there, I need to cry my contacts out. And then I think I can move forward with my life. But until that happens, I'm going to be stuck in the mud, okay? So I'm waiting for that to happen. And that's my biggest priority in life, is living long enough, just 12 more days, to see Wicked for good, okay? Then I can die peacefully. Great. The other thing about Wicked for Good, I want to say, when are we going to start doing Fan 2, but with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo? Because I'm just going to say it. It's giving Fan. You know, Dan and Phil, who now also have a podcast. My podcast peers, Dan and Phil. Yeah. I think, do we do Fan 2, guys? We figured it out pretty well last time. What do we think? I think this is Fan 2. I think it is. They revealed Fan just in time for the sequel. I want us to all keep an eye out for that. Okay? That's what I'm saying there. Yeah, Wicked's coming out, and that's probably going to be a whole episode where I just talk about Wicked for good. So let's prepare ourselves for that. Another movie that's coming out this year that I'm really excited for, just offhandedly, the FNAF 2 movie. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It looks so good. It looks even better than the first. You can tell from the trailer they really took notes, and I'm ready for the horror in this film, and, you're gonna get me for Five Nights at Freddy's. That's gonna be me. That's gonna be me on this podcast. And you're gonna also have to hear about FNAF. So, lock in for Wicked and FNAF. You know, the end of the year is a really great month for the most annoying person you know, Brinly Schreier. Okay? Okay. So, if you're not locked in to Wicked for Good and Five Nights at Freddy's 2, lock in so you can have a good end of your year. You'll thank me later once you've left the theater from seeing those films. Okay? Next up. This topic is not as fun because it is about sexual harassment. Womp, 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 womp. But ladies, girls, gays, we need to have a little chit chat. Let's talk something out together. Okay? So, funny story. When I was messaging people to listen to my podcast, I literally was going into any group chat I had ever been a part of, literally in the history of ever, and sending it to people, being like, "Hi, thank you so much. Would everyone please check out my podcast?" And while I was on there, I had opened up I had opened up Snapchat, and I never use Snapchat. I only have the app I don't even know why I have the app still, really. I guess I just have it to save photos from high school that are on there. But when I opened it up to reach out to some old group chats, I saw that someone had messaged me a week ago, and I saw the name was, we're going to use a fake name, Caleb. I saw that it said, "Caleb has messaged you." And I was like, I don't know a Caleb. And then I was like, well, maybe it is. I went to preschool with a Caleb, and we're kind of family friends, so maybe he ran into my mom, and he was just saying hi or something. So I'm trying to be nice. Okay? We're starting off the story with, I was trying to be nice at first, and then I'm going to quickly send you into a little life lesson. Okay? So, but no, at first I was trying to be nice. I was like, so I'm going to read you the messages now. I said, did we go to preschool? So I open a message and it's like, hi, exclamation point. So I say, did we go to preschool together? Just trying to figure out who you are. Caleb replies and says, I don't know, lol. And I said, is your last name blank? Redacting last name. He says, no, lol, I know him though. He is also from the Berg. I'm Caleb blank. Older than him by 2 years. Sends me unsolicited, disgusting, shirtless photo of himself. Okay. So, this is in the next part. So, we're gonna break down this interaction first. So, number one, women, ladies, girls, gays, theys, anyone who interacts with a man, we need to lower the threshold of, like, what we consider sexual harassment. Because that right there, I think some people automatically go, that's sexual harassment, sending unsolicited photos of yourself to people. No, it wasn't his dick, thank Christ, okay? But I don't need to see a shirtless photo of a man. That's disgusting to me. I actually find that disgusting. Only shirtless man I need to see is that one over there, okay? My boyfriend is what I'm trying to say, okay? I don't need to see no one else. I actually find that putrid. I actually find it disgusting. One time, fun fact, there was a brief period of time where my boyfriend and I were broken up. We weren't even dating, but we were like on a break. Our relationship, when my boyfriend and I first started seeing each other, we were on a break. And I was like talking to some other guy because I was trying to get over my boyfriend. And some guy asked me to like send him tit pics, and I literally threw up. So just know that like when I say it makes me want to throw up, I mean it. I have. And I will again. Okay. Not that I will again. Men say out of my DMs, I don't want you. I want you to be quiet. Okay? So, first off, I'll go into the essay about lowering the threshold for what sexual harassment is here soon. But let's keep that fresh in our minds. Okay. So, sends me the unsolicited picture. I sent him the slapping face emoji 3 times. And I said, because then I remembered who he was. I said, right, you're the loser who was texting me about my mimosa last year. Still on a pussy quest? Because that's when I remembered this person had slid into my DMs, like, literally, like, 2 years ago when I had posted, like, a story of me drinking a mimosa and was trying to hit on me. And I was like, no, thank you. And then he got vulgar very, very quickly. And, so at this point, now, when you get unsolicited pictures or you have a man harassing you, this how I'm reacting right here, I want you to react similarly, right? So I said, still on a pussy quest, to emasculate him. And so then I took a screenshot, and I said, took a screenshot because I'm going to talk about this on my podcast. I sent him the podcast link. I said, check it out. He said, well, hi, I guess, damn. What's a mimosa? These men are so stupid. These men really have the audacity to think they should waste your time by speaking to you, and they don't know something like what a mimosa is. It's a quick Google search, my friend. Just embarrass yourself. What are we talking about? What's a mimosa? So you have no female friends or gay friends if you don't know what a mimosa is, and that means I want nothing to do with you. My man? He'll sip on a mimosa. If your man won't sip on a mimosa, dump him. And I said it, okay? And I mean it. If your man won't sip on a mimosa, if he is emasculated by sipping on a mimosa, legitimately break up with him. New TikTok trend. Give your boyfriend a mimosa, will he drink it? If he thinks a mimosa is a fruity little drink and he won't drink it, break up with him, I swear to Christ. Anyways, I said, you don't know what a mimosa is? He replies to the podcast link and says, this actually looks pretty dope, laughing emoji, as if like getting on his knees to grovel. And he said, you got like RGB lights behind you. This is just how dumb men are. Lights go in front of you to illuminate you. They don't go behind you because then it would be backlit. it's just like, why are you even speaking? And I know I'm really nitpicking this, but I'm also just like, they just casually are this dumb constantly, all the time. And I really want to bring awareness to that. I really want us to all be aware. Like, I want, when a man says, or a man or a Republican says something stupid to you, I want you to look at them like they're stupid. That's just what I'm begging you to do. Because we really have to have no tolerance for these people. Like, we have to let them know that we just straight up don't fuck with them at all. Like, I'm really all good for, like, you know, of course, it's important to try to bring people to, like, the light side, but at the same time, some of these people are so stupid, and they're gonna keep doubling down, and they're gonna keep being disgusting, so let them know that you think that they're disgusting. Let them know that they should hold shame for how they behave. I just think that if people behave in a way that is unlikable or immoral, we should hold them accountable to their actions. That's just a crazy idea that I had. But you know the thing about that is when you hold people accountable around you, all of a sudden, you're the bad guy. It's this crazy little thing we do in our culture that's sincerely, and I mean this, the most irritating thing ever. Anyways, I'll touch on that later. But he says the thing about the lights. I said, it's pretty dope. Anyways, have fun harassing some other woman. Go stream my podcast. He said, how did I harass you? I'm sorry you feel that way. That's awful. These men are so dumb. This is what I'm saying, like, we have to, the threshold for what we consider sexual harassment, it must be lowered. Because, like, men go around and they sexually harass women every day, all day, like, micro sexual aggressions literally constantly. And we need to start reacting to those as if they're the same as, like, level 10 like, we need to start treating the level 4 sexual harassment like how we treat level 10 sexual harassment, okay? Like, and, like, the way we treat level 10 sexual harassment, we can start treating it like level 100 sexual harassment. Like, we need to be, like, this is girls, gays, days, we need to lock in, okay? We need to lock in because, well, yes, we've had some wins with, like, this blue wave in these recent elections, which has been phenomenal. That is great work. Keep doing that work. Keep voting. But what we need to do in our day-to-day life is that, like, we need to reassess, like, where we're at as a society and realize that we're not reacting enough. Like, they've already taken away the right to an abortion. They are trying this week to take away the right for gay people to get married. Like, we are living under, like, we're literally living under an authoritarian regime where, you know, thank Christ I'm even allowed to, like, post a podcast like this. And, like, that's the thing. Like, the big question is, having big opinions, like, online and stuff about this right now, you really hypothetically are putting yourself in a dangerous position, you know, but I think it's important nonetheless that, like, we keep pushing, and we need to start being extraordinarily vigilant in our day-to-day lives. I think that's what my biggest push is, and I'm always going to advocate for this, is that sexual harassment, any type of harassment towards a gay person, a person of color, a woman, a disabled person, you know, a transgender person, anyone within this, like, you know, if we see an injustice somewhere, like, just a stranger to another stranger, like, we need to be hopping on people's asses. We need to be using shame as a tactic to make these people feel afraid to be so horrible. These people should be embarrassed and feel shameful to be walking around and treating other human beings so poorly. And we all need to, like, be vigilant. That's the word of the day. Vigilant. We need to stay vigilant on these type of people and not stand for that behavior in an everyday environment. And we need to stay on the op's ass. stay on their ass. And if we can because they're so used to having power, they are not used to someone fighting back, and they're not used to being worn out. They do not have the willpower and the determination to get through it the way we do, because we have been put through it our whole lives. They have no idea what it's like to live under resistance. So you give them any bit of resistance and it literally rocks the foundation of their reality. So you just gotta, you stay on their necks. Got a little worked up there, guys. But that's just how I feel about these things, which is why I'm bringing it up. And that's pretty much, the end of that message. But it just really made me think about how we just have, like, such a low bar of what is acceptable to do in a public setting. And I think a lot about, and I reflect a lot about when I was in high school. And something really traumatic that I went through in high school was, at one point, I was a part of essentially an all-male friend group, which was, I have never learned more about life. Like, I'm very grateful for that experience because I learned so freaking much. But it's just, like, that environment really showed me, like, how disgusting the underbelly of this situation is. And how men really do not understand that they're the problem, and they're so dense. Like, they're all, there's this story about, there's this bird, and every day he chips at, like, this diamond mountain until he gets through it. That, they're like that. We're little birds, and they're a diamond mountain of stupidity. And they're little birds, and every day all they can do is take a little nick out of the diamond. And we're trying to get rid of the diamond mountain to get through to them. To let words enter their brain and let them think for once in their whole lives. And that's why we have to stay vigilant and stay on their ass and stay on anyone with these authoritarian type of views. We have to stay on their ass because they're that dense. And it has to be that constant. And it's like not about educating them, because education is something you have to do yourself and sit down and accept that you don't know. Like, that's something that these people have to do on their own. But we can help them with that process by wearing them down. So it's not about educating them, because that's their own job, but wearing them down to make them want to educate themselves. That's something that actually can be quite fun. Am I advocating for bullying? No! Don't. That would be wrong and bad. We should not bully fascists. I mean, like, what did they ever do to deserve that? Don't point out that their self-tan was bad, or that the blonde is botched, or that despite the amount of golf they play, they still look like a buoy. That would be bad and not nice. So don't do it. Anyways, that was on sexual harassment. That was like, I felt like like what your teacher should be saying to you when you get the sex talk in middle school. But they don't tell you that. They just tell you to use condoms and then villainize abortions. So, damn. Anyways, we'll move on from that. Next thing is we're coming to an end here soonish. We're probably about 2/3 of the way through the podcast, so thank you for listening to this point, because this is why it's called Brinly's Yapathon. I'm really just gonna sit here, and I literally wrote down a list of things I want to talk about and do, and I did them. So we're gonna keep on that vibe. And next we're gonna talk about 2026 New Year's resolutions. New Year's is coming up, and you need to start figuring out your resolutions now so that you can actually start in the new year. So this is just reminding you all, if you actually want to get your New Year's resolutions started up in the new year, you have to start coming up with them now. And let me offer you something I think should be on your New Year's resolutions list. I think something that should be on your New Year's resolutions list, very top of the list, is if you don't know how to cook for yourself or bake, you should start learning how to cook and bake. Cooking and baking is going to bring you more joy in your life and help you save money in a way that nothing else will. It is both like soul fulfilling, it is productive, and it will save you money. Like it is the everything of like being a self-sufficient adult. Like not just like learning how to cook to get by, like learning how to cook and make like enjoyable food. If you cook from scratch and you're not just like buying, like if you cook from scratch, like your food's going to taste better 100% off the bat, and it's going to likely be cheaper. It really, really is. And you don't have to get into the fancy ingredients or anything like that. Like you on a budget, because I started cooking from scratch when I was in college, because I had no money, I had no time. The only time I had to spend with myself was for cooking, because I was having 15-hour days, 6 days a week with class, and then when I wasn't doing class, I was doing homework. So the only time I had to myself was cooking, and I would make the most of it. And I loved cooking myself a meal. It makes you feel like you love yourself, and then you can cook for other people, and you can give the love that you have for other people in the form of something that will literally fuel their body and, is healthy for them. And I think cooking is one of the most pure expressions of love, and I cannot emphasize enough that just like learning to truly cook something that like you eat it and you go, this is delicious, is like the most satisfying feeling. And I just want everyone to be able to feel that. And if more people also like cooking, and cooking from scratch is something that is, if you are against capitalism, like this is a great way to combat that, because you can save so much money and you're not buying from usually then big corporations, because you're cooking everything from scratch. And and also shop local. Like I shop local as much as I can. If you can shop local, it's a lot easier in New York. If you're in other parts of the country, it is a lot harder. But any opportunity, like inconvenience yourself to shop locally, it's so worth it. And it truly makes you feel more connected to where you live, and just is so much healthier for you. And you're not getting all these added chemicals or things in your food. And so learning to cook from scratch is just the most fulfilling thing you can do. I also really emphasize like baking bread, like white bread is so easy. I cannot emphasize enough, like learn to just make a loaf of white bread. I make 2 loaves of white bread every single week, and it is delicious, and it is so much better than the store bread, and it is so easy. So add cooking and baking to your 2026 New Year's resolutions list. You can thank me in a couple of years. Like I'm like almost 5 years out from starting my cooking journey, and like I'm telling you, like I'm cooking like Gordon Ramsay, let me be on one of your shows, because I swear to God I cook restaurant quality food. I am a good cook, okay? I could use some training to be more professional, and I would love the free training to be on the show. But like I already know what's up, okay? So that's what I'm saying. Add that to your list. Put it at the top of your list. You can thank me later. Now, we're getting to that segment of the show where I get to talk about my book. So, writing this week has gone so well, and it's so nice, to be able to fully immerse myself in my writing, and it really shows me that this is exactly what I want to be doing with my life, and that, like, because I went to art school, I went to school for musical theater, and the thing is like, I've done musical theater for 10 plus years, and I just found that as I tried to enter the professional industry that, like, I was so burned out, and it needed a different creative outlet to do storytelling. And the thing about writing is that it is like the perfect outlet, at least for me, because I've studied storytelling both in my literature classes, in my writing classes, and then with studying musical theater for over a decade now. I have found that, like, when I write, I get to be the actress, I get to be the director, I get to be the sets and the props and the costumes, and I can shape the story to be, I get to play every single part. And it is so, it's just the fullest expression I have ever found of my art, where I get to put the most of myself in it. Like, if I got into theater for the purpose of escapism when I was very young. Like, I did not want to be where I was in life, and I wanted to be someone else, and so I would immerse myself, for 2 hours on a stage, or in rehearsal, and just, like, disconnect, and it was so healing for me to do that, but I found it extremely troubling as I, grew up with everything growing in the industry, and theater stopped eventually being that escapism for me, because I have a lot of trauma regarding how things are done in the musical theater industry and mentalities that are in the industry and people I've met. So it stopped being the cathartic thing for me that was healing and started hurting me. So as I was getting into the industry, that's when I started taking up writing as a hobby, and I'd been planning this book for a long time. I know I'd always wanted to write a book, and it was something that I always wanted to do, was just like a thing I wanted to do at some point, be like, oh, I've written a book. I didn't want to be a writer. And then it started turning into, maybe my last year of college, I want to be a writer, and I feel like at this point now I'm writing full time, and being fully able to really immerse myself in that has been just so, so rewarding. So that's all to say, that's how I'm feeling about my writing, which is fantastic. But another thing is, too, I guess the little Andromeda segment that I'm talking about this week is introducing my main character. Her name's Bruta Jolene, and in book 1, I just figured, let me lay out the groundwork of kind of who the lens of the story is being told through. Bruta Jolene is born in the year 5003, and she is a farm girl whose father owns a transportation business. They live on a farming planet, and he takes produce to other planets. As Bruta has grown up, she started to develop psychic visions where she believed she could predict the future. They live in an extremely religious society, and their god's name is Elian. And Elian, he granted the royal family who rules over the western hemisphere, not hemisphere, but the western region of the galaxy, that royal family, the Nieves. Elian, he granted them in this universe the ability to see into the future. Now, Bruta, as she's growing up, is also developing these psychic visions, and she starts being able to predict the future, but that is seen as heresy because only the Nieve family should be able to see into the future, so she has to keep it a secret. She lives in a very, very religious society, and she is paired up with the boy from across the, the farm across the street, essentially, from her. She's paired up with him to be engaged, and she gets engaged at a very young age, an arranged marriage to this boy, and his name was Price, and he always was very kind to her. She felt very fondly of him, but Price is a little bit older than her, and her best friend is actually Price's younger brother, Peter. And her and Peter do everything together. They're the best of friends, and their parents joke, like, maybe we should have paired you two up instead of Price. But they want both their eldest children to get married and to, merge their businesses together. But one day, Bruta has a prophecy that Price is going to die in a fire. She tries to tell everyone, she tries to give warnings, and no one listens to her. And ultimately, Price does end up dying in a fire, which is extremely traumatic for Bruta, because she's like, oh my gosh, she's in such a religious society, and she truly believes in her god Elian, and she's like, why would Elian give me these visions if I can't stop them, if they're not a warning? And so she feels that she has failed, and her fiance is now dead. And this all happens when she's very, very young. This happens when she's about 13. And so now that Price, who has now died, is no longer the oldest child, she must get engaged to Peter. But this is devastating for her because she does not want to be forced to have children with her best friend. And so Bruda's very intellectual and Bruda is very reflective, and she doesn't understand. She has this goal in life. She wants to be extremely capable. She wants to become a great shooter, and she wants to know, she loves to read. She reads all her father's books, does all the research on every single planet in the galaxy, in the Western region, and she learns so much about history and learns about science and everything that she can learn. She knows how to ride a motorcycle. Like, she tries to be the most capable version of herself to try to prove to her father that maybe she should be allowed to inherit the business. And she thinks that if she can inherit the business, then perhaps she can convince her father to not have to marry her best friend, which feels completely violating to her. And Bruda's, when you first meet her, is dealing with the weight of religion and girlhood and the inability to escape it. And then one fateful day, she has a vision of her father being shot and killed. And the last time she had a vision of someone dying in a specific way, it happened. So now she's trying to cope and figure out how can she stop her father's death while also dealing with all of these other things. So that's Bruda Jolene in the first book. Her story goes so far. Like, she goes to places you will never ever expect her to go, and her growth throughout my series is like the most important thing to me as an artist, like, ever. So that's my Andromeda spiel. Remember to keep an eye out for Andromeda, and when pre-sales happen someday, make sure you're in line for them. So you can say that you were here first when it's the next biggest series on the planet. Okay. And we're wrapping up the pod, guys. Pod number 2. We killed it. We're wrapping it up. We're going to end with a little bit of motivation for the week, as always. So the thesis I wrote for the motivation of the week was, be okay with being the villain to people who will never understand you. I really, really, really want everyone to get okay with the idea, if, like, in your heart you know you're a good person. If you're a good person in your heart, like, you really know it. You can, like, literally just sit here and be like, am I a person who wants good for others and for myself? And if you can sit and there's silence, and there's not like, well, maybe does it, chances are you're probably a good person. Like, deep down, if you're a good person, like, you know. And there are certain people in life who want to be difficult for a myriad of reasons. They either want attention, they want money, they want to feel superior, they all have something to prove to themselves. And they're taking it out on you. And some people are never going to get over themselves. And you need to be okay with setting boundaries with these people and being the villain to them. Because they are going to bulldoze you if you don't put up boundaries with them. And it is better to be a villain to somebody who doesn't have good intent for you than be a victim of them. So that's my life advice for the end of the week. And I don't know if that's motivation, but I hope it gives you courage to do it. Like, please set a boundary with someone. And the more you set boundaries and can feel fearless about setting boundaries, like, the world is your oyster when you can fearlessly set boundaries. And know that setting boundaries is a skill and you can get better at it. And if you dedicate yourself to working on your boundaries, like, you can get there. Which means if you dedicate yourself now to working on those boundaries, the world is your oyster and you can do anything. So that's your motivation for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in to Brinley's Yapathon. I hope you enjoyed this little chat and I hope you have a great week. And thank you so much for tuning in. You can find this on YouTube, Spotify. It should be on Apple Podcasts, supposedly. I think it's on there. And follow me on TikTok and keep up with the show. Thank you all so much for listening this week and have a lovely week.